It's gonna be like. So what if we lose? It's gonna be all right. So what if we get swept? It's gonna be all right. So what if we miss out on the money? It's gonna be all right. That he just gives you that impression.
He's just getting sued. Everyone's so sensitive. YouTube was demonetizing like half my videos because they were becoming more, you know, progressive, and all their advertisers would be like, we can't have this.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit.
Stephen A. Smith exposed Jake Paul's alleged financial collapse following lawsuits accusing him of fixing his boxing matches. He reportedly stated that risking everything for short-term gains was never worth it, because once illegal actions are uncovered, consequences become unavoidable. According to Smith, when wrongdoing comes to light, the fallout is inevitable, and this situation was bound to surface sooner or later, as reported by multiple media outlets.
I'm talking about people who let it cost them their money.
Yeah.
That's all I'm talking about. If it don't cost you your money, puff, puff, and pass away. Yeah.
Jake Paul reportedly said that he lost his money, with even his YouTube videos being taken down due to content issues. He allegedly added that each lawsuit cost him millions, and the losses quickly accumulated. According to Jake, despite previously earning massive sums, constant legal battles drained his finances, ultimately leaving him with nothing. He reportedly reflected on how rapidly wealth can disappear when facing repeated legal troubles.
Names, but there's like a firm who has stolen a bunch of money from celebrities in Los Angeles and athletes.
You don't want to say the name because you're probably going to get sued.
No, yeah. No,
That's another $1 million.
I'm probably going to sue them one day.
Jake Paul reportedly maintained that he did not fix any fights and insisted he would sue anyone who accused him of something he did not do. He allegedly stated that scripted fights are illegal and that falsely accusing him is a serious matter. According to Jake, the claims made against him are baseless and could even be viewed as a federal crime. He emphasized that he is prepared to take legal action to defend his name and career.
Versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing gloves throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake.
Jake Paul reportedly said that people who label his fights as rigged simply do not understand boxing. He explained that many critics misjudge the sport and fail to recognize the strategy behind every move in the ring. According to Jake, these criticisms are unfair, and those making such claims lack the knowledge needed to appreciate the skill and complexity involved in professional boxing.
That you was rigging those fights, though. I ain't gonna lie.
You honestly believe that?
I wanted to believe it when you fought Woodley.
Hi, Rampage. You
Because
know
I'm an MMA guy.
Anyone who believes that narrative, it's like, come on. You think Anderson Silva's gonna lose? You think
No.
Woodley's gonna take a fall? You know these guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Anderson would take a fall.
People think the Mike Tyson fight's rigged. I try to understand.
Tony Jeff, speaking in Jake Paul's favor, explained that people who kept claiming Mike Tyson was holding back were mistaken. He reportedly said that Mike was not holding anything back, because if he had thrown a full punch at that moment, Jake would have immediately responded with one of his own. According to Jeffer, critics simply do not understand boxing and fail to recognize the skill, timing, and strategy involved in the fight, making their claims unfair and uninformed.
Tyson has got to do this fight. This is what I wrote on Instagram, and someone commented saying he doesn't have to do it, he's choosing to do it. And then I thought, you know, you're right, he is choosing to do it, but why is he choosing to do it? Well, he's doing it for one reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this. So that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson can get bought, because this guy is an absolute legend. He shouldn't be able to get bought like this. He's 57 years old. He needs to be enjoying retirement. Now, I don't think that I've got the wealth that Mike Tyson's got, but if someone offered me $20 million to fight Jake Paul, I would say no, because I care too much about my brain health, about my children, about my family, where it seems like he is being bored. And I'm not trying to disrespect the man. I absolutely love the man. It's just so
Meanwhile, analysts on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast suggested that Jake Paul's fight against Mike Tyson appeared scripted. They reportedly noted that while Tyson looked extremely sharp and powerful during training, his performance in the actual fight showed signs of restraint. According to the analysts, his punches seemed controlled and his intensity appeared intentionally limited, which contrasted with his usual fighting style. They argued that this indicated the bout was carefully managed, rather than a fully competitive contest. Observers also pointed out that the pacing, timing, and reactions in the ring felt adjusted, making the fight appear scripted to some viewers.
To test himself against actual, not just world champion, but one of the greatest of all time.
Are the fights even real? Like the Tyson fight? Like I saw video breakdowns of Tyson not throwing punches early on in that fight. I don't know if you watched any of those videos where like there's a left hook is 100% available. Tyson on in training 99% of the time releases that punch and he held up. Like, do you think that was a real fight?
It looked like sparring to me. That's what it looked like.
But like with an arrangement beforehand? Like,
I wouldn't want to speculate because I haven't talked to anybody about it. But my educated assessment?
Agree.
Yes.
Agree.
Jake Paul's recent fight against Anthony Joshua was reportedly surrounded by rumors that he intended to influence the bout in his favor through strategy and careful maneuvering. However, those plans appeared to fall short, with Jake largely focused on staying safe in the ring rather than aggressively taking control. Observers noted that while he showed moments of defensive skill, his overall approach remained cautious, reflecting the challenge of facing a high-level opponent like Joshua. Analysts suggested that despite preparation and tactics, the fight highlighted the difficulty of fully executing a game plan, proving that even calculated strategies can fail in the unpredictable world of professional boxing.
In terms of what he's doing in the boxing ring.
Listen, so long as people will tune in and so long as Jake Paul is paid by Netflix or any broadcaster to air his fights, we're going to see this continue. And Jake Paul knows his business model, right? Now, this deviated, this AJ fight, which came together kind of last minute after the Tank Davis fight fell apart. But we know Jake Paul's MO here. It's find the most popular guy with the most physical disadvantages for me to fight. And Jake Paul has the benefit that he's turned himself into a villain, or in the pro wrestling circles, a heel. People tune in to watch. We did not tune into this fight to see competitive boxing. Most of us tuned in because we thought, here's Anthony Joshua. Here's a two-time unified heavyweight champion, a guy who physically just overwhelms Jake Paul. And we're finally going to get what Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva and Nate Diaz were not physically fit, whether it be through their size, experience, or age, to do, and that is knock out Jake Paul. And so, because I don't really feel like we got that satisfying comeuppance that a lot of people have been waiting for, it kind of gives Jake Paul a little bit of mystique, I'd almost say, to still try and string this along. Now, I don't know in terms, he says he wants to be cruiserweight champion. I'm not quite sure what the competitive road there is, because let's make no mistake, the reason this fight lasted as long as it did is because Jake Paul focused exclusively on being elusive. He did his best, and kudos to him, right? He did a great job of not getting cornered. He was always on the gas until the gas sort of fell out from underneath him. And so I don't quite know, short of leveraging his popularity, how he's going to get to that title shot if he's not actually going to fight.
Confusion spread among viewers during the 7th round of Jake Paul's fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., when some fans claimed that online sources had already declared Jake the winner before the final bell. These premature announcements sparked intense debate across social media, leading many to question the authenticity of the contest. However, this fight was not an isolated incident in Paul's career. Observers have long highlighted a recurring pattern in his bouts, including carefully selected opponents, heavy media promotion, and victories that often appear nearly guaranteed.
In this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, and it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google.
Jake Paul's matchup with Chavez Jr. was not the first to draw such scrutiny. His approach to fights often straddles the line between athletic competition and entertainment spectacle. Many fans have observed a pattern: opponents who are past their prime, matches designed for maximum viewership, and circumstances that allow Paul to influence outcomes in his favor. These carefully orchestrated elements have fueled claims that his career focuses more on showmanship than on genuinely testing his skills against equally matched opponents.
In quite serious news in the combat sports world, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them. You know, I really did. I thought that Mike Tyson, especially, Iron Mike, he was just going to go in there and knock Jake clean out. But here he is, not.
Chael Sonnen, commenting on the situation, highlighted how unusual it is for a fighter with only 11 professional bouts to face opponents with extensive experience and Olympic credentials. According to Sonnen, the reasoning behind placing a relatively inexperienced professional in such high-stakes fights simply doesn't make sense. From his perspective, these bouts often seem engineered to create dramatic narratives rather than reflect true competitive matchups.
Or if I think that Joshua's more experienced or better, I believe in I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, you know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for Jake Paul. But I get it. I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that Anthony Joshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you can put the boundaries at the city line. You can put it at the state line. I will track him down, I will put him somewhere, and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other things. Where I'm saying he had to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. Well, I'm saying that Joshua has the right to go, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience, and yeah, he was moving, and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like, for that to be Joshua's mindset.
Joe Rogan added another perspective, emphasizing that Jake Paul has always aimed to prove himself as a legitimate fighter. Rogan acknowledged Paul's desire to face opponents in the ring and demonstrate his ability to handle real competition. While the intent may seem genuine, the consistent pattern of opponent selection and orchestrated circumstances raises questions about how much of the spectacle is authentic versus carefully managed to benefit Paul's career. This narrative also applies to Paul's bout with Anthony Joshua. Analysts like Ariel Helwani noted that Joshua had no incentive to take unnecessary risks purely for financial gain. Already immensely wealthy, Joshua's focus was on preserving his legacy rather than chasing a payday. This context explains why Joshua fought cautiously, avoided unnecessary vulnerabilities, and highlighted the vastly different stakes for the two fighters.
It is open. Upstairs is open, and I was surprised that he wasn't going there, but you know, any of this nonsense, script, bullshit, like if you subscribe to that notion, you're an absolute idiot. You're an absolute idiot. There was no reason for First of all, you go to jail. Why would Netflix, the biggest streaming platform in the world, partake in anything like that? Just use your brain. And MVP, too much to lose. You go to jail. Federal effing prison. AJ, like, for what? For what? He doesn't need it. He doesn't need more money. It's great, but to risk this? No, look at what's going on with the gambling. No way. There's no way. My respect for Jake has grown. I know people don't like to give him credit. You fight amateur, influencer, pro boxing. You have my respect. I don't care what kind of fighter you are. I don't care how many wins you have. You step through those ropes. You have my respect. He lasted 6 rounds. Most didn't think he would. I think the line as far as how many rounds was 2.5. So clearly most people thought he would be out of there around that point. And I think a lot of people were going with the under. He had some moments. He had the antics. You know, obviously the takedowns and all that weren't great, but golly, I think he was tired. You know, the ring was bigger and everyone said that was going to benefit him, the 22x22 ring. But, you know, cardio has been an issue for him. And so when you're circling and dancing, you're going to get tired. You're going to gas out. And I think that happened. Arms were down and he was getting pinned. He was getting cornered and he was getting, you know, AJ was doing a great job, I think, of not letting the fight be contested in the middle of the ring, cornering him either in the middle, like the turnbuckle, or up against the ropes. He was cutting him off perfectly. And so I know people are going to be upset that AJ didn't.
And Rafael offered further insight, focusing on the dynamics of the Joshua fight. He credited Jake Paul for lasting as long as he did, noting that Paul's defensive and cautious style, though unpopular with many viewers, was the only way he could endure multiple rounds against a fighter of Joshua's caliber. From Rafael's perspective, the bout underscores the challenge of balancing spectacle-oriented matches with genuine professional-level competition. This theme of carefully managed outcomes extends beyond the Joshua fight. In earlier contests, critics argued that Paul's opponents were strategically selected to maximize audience engagement while minimizing actual risk.
You know, did it go 6 rounds and last, you know, a few longer? I'll give credit to Jake for hanging in there. Part of it was because he employed an extremely unfriendly for fans style, but it was the only way he could do it if he wanted to survive that many rounds, which is to basically get on his bicycle and ride around the ring for a bunch of rounds and then get off his bicycle and run, you know, like a criminal at night after the cops show up. So it is what it is. I mean, it'll be the fact that it still resonated shows you the interest that there was in the fight, and certainly that knockout was a viral clip. And you know, I'll quote the great philosopher Eddie Hearn. You know, we're going to take care of Jake Paul and on to the real boxing in 2026.
Yeah, the great philosopher.
Eddie will like that.
Yeah, he will. I might take that out because he'll like it too much. Look, in terms of AJ now, look, I think he's always in a no-win situation. I think unless he flattened him within 10 seconds, someone would have something to say. Whether it be before the fight and why is he doing this? Look, we know why he's doing it. Like, and it helps him, I suppose, in the US market as well in terms of coming over here and making a big splash. But do you understand where some people maybe have been a bit critical with how long it's taken, or is it the fact that you fight a guy who's that, like you mentioned there, he's a novice boxer and he's moving around the ring? Was it down to Anthony to cut him off sooner, or do you see why it went that long?
I mean, look, Anthony certainly could have done a better job cutting the ring off, and Anthony Joshua was the first one to say so himself after the ring. I mean, I've always viewed Joshua as pretty honest when it comes to
Wade, a podcast host, criticized the decision to put a 58-year-old in the ring for one of Jake Paul's bouts, stating that such arrangements should never occur under normal circumstances. He suggested that the fight's outcome and structure were likely predetermined, driven more by financial motives than athletic fairness. The perception of these matches as rigged is reinforced when considering patterns of opponent selection, media promotion, and carefully managed fight dynamics. Despite the criticism, Paul continues to assert his legitimacy as a fighter, taking on high-profile opponents and maintaining a relentless media presence. The controversy surrounding his bouts, however, persists. Observers note that while Paul demonstrates skill and endurance, the orchestrated nature of his fights, including opponents past their prime, defensive strategies, and extensive promotion, contributes to the perception that many matches are more spectacle than sport. Consequently, Analysts and fans continue to debate whether his career reflects genuine competition or a series of carefully managed events designed to sustain popularity and profitability.
Of course, at 58, I think a lot of people in that ring could have hurt Mike because, again, Mike did not look like he should be in a ring. But we just saw this whole experiment. We don't need a Logan and Mike Tyson fight after this. For Logan to clearly not get the joke and disrespect Mike to his face after he had just fought Jake in this amazing event, and all you can really do is give him his flowers because that's what you should do right then. Logan has to take it another level and continue to be the asshole. So again, the self-awareness on Logan Paul, whether it's Lunchley or Prime or anything to do with crypto, the guy just doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. But then, like I said, Jake didn't really call anybody out in the post-fight presser, in his post-fight interview with Ariel, but the internet went ablaze over, him fighting Mike and how are you continuing to fight these older guys and Mike being 58